Good morning and welcome to the Internet Marketing Specialist Designation and ActiveRain University training sessions. With the Internet Marketing Specialist Designation, you can learn how to get ahead of your competition and earn your Internet Marketing Specialist Designation. All you need to do is go to www.imsd.net. And for all ActiveRain users, we have a special promotional code that is ARU. Just pop that in, save yourself some money. $200 right off the price if you want to become a member of the Internet Marketing Specialist Designation Program. Now, that's not why we're here. We're not here to sell it. We just want to make sure you have the information for it so you can learn more about what these topics are that we've been talking about, and we can teach you and help you grow your business. So this week, we're talking about Craigslist. We want to be able to succeed on Craigslist. That's not good when I do that, is it? We want to be able to succeed on Craigslist. And we want to be able to share with you all the stuff that's going on with Craigslist so that you can use something that is so powerful to grow your business. Let me introduce to you our two guests today. Sheri, are you on the line with us?
I am. I'm here. Hello.
Good morning. You sound very far away. That might be because I'm in the Pacific Northwest and you're all the way in the southeast part of the country.
Yes, I am. It's almost as far away as you can get from you.
Almost. There's only one more state, I think, to go. But Sheri, say hello to everyone. Tell them who you are, where you actually are, in case they have a referral for you, and why you're here on this call with us.
Well, I am in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have been in real estate for 19 years. That does not make me old. That means I started when I was young. I have been 30 under 30 and doing internet training for a long time, and picked up Craigslist about 7 years ago when I was training agents, and absolutely love it. So when you were looking for somebody to chat Craigslist, I said, let me do it.
There you go. You've been doing this for quite a while, as you said. We know you started young. You actually are in the Guinness record book, I think, for license at age of 4, if I'm not mistaken, for those doing the math out there attempting to figure all that out. Well, welcome aboard. Sheri, if somebody here wanted to get a hold of you after this webinar, what would be the best way for them to find you? Would it be on Facebook, Twitter, email? How should they get a hold of you?
On Facebook, you can find me at sb.com/sales trainer. And on Twitter, I'm at Real Life Sheri, SHERI. And my email is Sheri, SHERI, @wakehometeam.com.
Okay, so there we go. A few ways to get a hold of Sheri. And our other guest on this call today from sweltering Las Vegas. Albie, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing down there in Las Vegas today? Did it hit 100 degrees yet?
It's actually kind of cold today. We're looking at temperatures of 78 degrees for us. It's a little cold for this time. Sometimes when we wake up at 7 a.m., it's already 90 degrees. But we're accustomed to it already, so we're good to go.
All right. Now, Albie, when we were getting ready to put this class together, and I was talking to Sheri about Craigslist, knowing that she is a machine on Craigslist and would be somebody I wanted, she said to me, Chad, I want Albie to join me as my partner. Tell everyone a little bit about you, how long you've been doing real estate, how they get a hold of you, and why Sheri asked me to bring you on the call with us.
Well, first of all, I think the major point of bringing me on, because I wasn't a believer. Coming from 10 years of technology, I did not believe in the product because I thought there was a lot of junk out there. People posting a lot of random crap out there. I wanted to sell my shoes. My shoes are like 14 years old. Come buy them. And I just didn't really see it. And then looking at what other people were doing, I really were missing a big opportunity here. But then and Sheri actually contacted me about a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, I want to challenge you on Craigslist listings and see what we can do. And I'm like, well, I'm not really doing it, but let me see what I can do. And then just learning from her and some of the stuff we picked up the last few weeks are just phenomenal. We have somebody in our office called Lori Ball, and she's been a trendsetter for a long time with Craigslist and great success. So we're just adding it on as an additional piece of our repertoire, I guess. But,
wow.
I'm actually somewhat of a newbie. I've been in real estate for 5 years, and I spent 10 years previously in technology. So I use a lot of the stuff that I know in technology to bring that over. Before that, we just pretty much just had a really sweet website where we had a lot of SEO. We were just getting all our leads from the web. But to add extra items to our repertoire, we're quite excited what we're doing today. So we're going to share some of that today.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it, Albie, because I know that you were a non-believer that we have converted to the power of Craigslist. Albie, after the call, there are going to be some other non-believers who probably still don't believe after watching. How do they get a hold of you if they want to talk to you, one-on-one, learn a little bit more? What's the best way to get a hold of you? Is it Facebook, Twitter, or email for you?
What's really funny is I'm a huge social media guy, and everything comes to my phone, and it's really quick and easy. But the best way to reach me on Twitter, it's Albie Vass, and you'll see that on the screen. And also on Facebook, you can go ahead and look for Albie Vass as well. There shouldn't be another person out there unless there's an impersonator. But also, another great way is a text message. You can send me a text at 702-526-4498. That's 702-526-4498. And I respond to all my texts.
Perfect. And he responds to all of his texts, too. Texts and people from Texas, just so you both know. So let's jump right into this then. Find out a little bit about why Craigslist. So, Albie, why? I mean, you were a doubter. Why now should anybody look at it?
Well, it was a really, I've heard great success stories from Craigslist, from other realtors. I really thought it was just, I just really thought a lot of people were just blowing up, smoke. During a down economy, people were getting something like 100 leads a week through Craigslist. I wasn't really believing it. Then I heard a story that there was this lady, I am not sure from which state, she actually shifted all of her business through Craigslist, and she was doing phenomenal. I want to say she did about $1 million in gross income on that. So, it was stories like that, and then also somebody in our office was doing phenomenal. So, we figured maybe we should go ahead and do it. And then at the very beginning, we started just doing just a little bit on Craigslist, and it was pretty much just throwing it out there, see what we can get, but not really pushing it. And then we also saw that we were getting a lot of leads for high-rises on the strip. We're talking for rentals for the strip. So, it pretty much, that's what we thought Craigslist was all about. But then I'm a converter now, so it's really good.
So, Sheri, Albie's a converter and now a believer. You were a believer all the time. Why Craigslist? Why should everybody be taking advantage of Craigslist?
I know, and actually I was talking to Ben about this a few weeks ago, and I said what I said to him was, and he said it was the sexiest thing he'd heard all day, was that the reason I do it is that it's free and it produces more leads than anything I do.
That's a pretty simple answer right there. Free and produces more leads than anything else you do.
Yeah. So, I mean, what else is it that I would choose to? I mean, it's not the only thing that I do, but as you know from talking to me, I can get 20, 25 leads in a day just from Craigslist. And what else am I going to do that's free that generates me even a tenth of that, which is, to me, and a lot of it, has been getting it organized and seeing, because I haven't always had that kind of, it wasn't like I just jumped on Craigslist and one day I started getting 25 leads a day. I had to learn to really understand what getting on Craigslist was about.
Well, that's a great point, and let's talk about some of that. So I know on Craigslist you can post ads for lots of things. I've sold desks. I've sold other pieces of furniture. How about everybody on the call? Who's actually sold anything non-real estate related on Craigslist? Type that in for me. I want to see the crazy things you guys have sold. My ex, she was huge into baking. She loved to bake cakes, and she bought cake pans off Craigslist that people no longer were using. Let me know what it is that you guys were buying. Someone sold a truck, book, refrigerator, a flagpole. Now that's interesting, Betsy. Tools, guitars, motorcycles, Nintendo games, and just got suitcases this morning, Candace. I hope you're ready for whatever trip you're going on. She got them for free. A bird. Holy mackerel. All right, so we're seeing some crazy things. And I know you can buy some things on Craigslist that we won't even mention here on the call. There's some questions about some of the categories that Craigslist does still cover. But, Sheri, let's have you first. just one type of ad that you could post on Craigslist, what's one ad type that you really love to post, and why should we be posting it?
My favorite ad is just to sign up for investors to get list of foreclosures every day. It gets the most response, and for me, I work with a lot of investors, and they're repeat business, and they're fast, and they're cash, and they're easy, and I enjoy those. So I just have my favorite one is that foreclosure list one because people actually sign up for it.
Okay. So there's one type, the foreclosure list ad. Albie, what's one of your go-to ad types that you like to run on Craigslist?
Well, she took away some of my steam there because that's actually the same thing that I was looking at. But another cool thing that we started to do is to go ahead and put a service out to help people with short sales. So we run that ad, and it was really cool because we tried to figure out a different way of how do we get people to respond to take a look at us, how to even get their information to call us. So we found the right combination that works out. It's a picture of a house that's upside down, and also to put our phone number in there to give us a call, because to have them click to another link to come to our website and then fill out a contact information just didn't really work out for us.
Okay, so Albie, are you talking about running that ad to help sellers get
Correct.
more information about short sales?
Correct.
Okay, so you're getting sellers, and Sheri, you were talking about getting buyers with that foreclosure list, people who are looking, investors specifically. So Albie, let's go to you. We'll put some pressure on Sheri and make her wait. Give me another type of ad that you enjoy running on Craigslist and get some success from. Do you have a buyer one that works really well for you?
Absolutely. But let me add another one for those people that speak other languages. We run a Spanish ad for a property, and it's all written in Spanish. I speak Spanish myself, so that seems to be going all right. Not too shabby. It's one of those extra added value that we like to bring. But another thing is what we do is we give ranges. So we've been running an ad for luxury homes in Las Vegas, and what we do is we'll have a link that drops them into our website that has a list of all the luxury homes that we deemed as luxury in our area. And for every 2 houses they view inside, they have to register after that. We started out with just 1, but 2 seems to be the magical number. And then we're getting a response to there, and we're able to communicate to them.
Okay, so Spanish, there's a good one. For anybody that's in an area with a second language being very popular, French, Spanish, whatever areas you might be in, maybe there's a huge Italian community, whatever's out there, putting an ad together in a language for them would definitely get you some traffic, as long as you can then speak to them once they buzz you and give you a call. So Sheri, you threw out the easy one with the foreclosure list for investors. Albie had to go into short sales there for some sellers. Talk about some other things, some luxury stuff he's got going. Let's put a little pressure on you. What other type of ads are there you could possibly be running on Craigslist?
Yeah, I got to top Albie, so I'm going to go out of the home selling section and go into the events and talk about the workshops that you could do. You could even make them into webinars and events that go into the events section and the classes section. So I've had meetups for investors that I advertise in that section, and they just show up at the meetup, and we discuss foreclosures and short sales, and we also advertise our home buyer workshops there.
So you could advertise an event where everybody meets up somewhere, or maybe ends up meeting up on a Google Plus Hangout, or maybe comes to a Facebook group, or even just comes and joins you for a free webinar on some topic you want to talk about with clients.
Exactly.
Wow, that's great. I'm getting a question here. Ray's wanting to know, what do some of your ads look like? Are they just straight up text? Albie, tell me a little bit about some of your ads. Are they just straight up text in your ad?
No, we actually played around with a lot of different items in there, and we found what really works out best for us is to go ahead and give a small description of what the property is, along with some of the upgrades to it, like if it has the granite countertops, if it has a pool in there, we'll go ahead and put that in there. And then right underneath that, we'll have a, click here for details, and that will bring us directly to our website to go ahead and view the property. And then underneath that, we actually have an image of a cartoon map of Las Vegas. It says, click for other homes similar to this, and that drops into another website that that has a list of properties around the same price. So if the price is 200, we'll drop them into a list of from 200 to 212, and we'll show those properties, and then requiring them to register after that.
And Sheri, what do your ads look like? Are they just straight up text ads?
You know, I run a bunch of different ones because my foreclosure list sign-up one, I created a really nice graphic that you can link in the graphic and go to a sign-up that looks exactly like the graphic. And then I have ones, Albie copies me, that's why his look like that. I do the same thing. And then I run ones that are just, I do a lot of testing, so, and I do, you know, a variety of ads. Sometimes if it's my listing, I'll use a postlet so that I can have the virtual tour in there and all the pictures because the sellers want that. And so I may run the postlet ad and the just text ad to capture leads on my website. So I have to multi-purpose task whatever to make everyone happy, because the the fancy ones that give all the information may not be the best lead generators for me, but that's the sellers want to see that.
Absolutely. And Rick, you've asked a great question. I'm going to have you hold on that. I know we're going to cover that as we're moving on through the webinar today, so that's a great question out there. Ray just wanted a little follow-up on that. He says, so when they go to your website, are you using a landing page on the site specific for the ad? Where are you driving them to? Albie, it sounds like you're dropping them right into an IDX feed almost, search results, and Sheri, sounds like some of your ads are going to a landing page specific to the ad. So Sheri, where are you taking them?
Yeah, a majority of mine go to a landing page within my IDX. So if I'm, like right now, I've actually probably posted 15 ads since we've been on here. The one in front of me I have says, wow, 15 foreclosures in Nightdale, don't miss out. And it has a link to that specific search. And so I went and I looked just a second ago, and it's actually now 13. So I need to change the ad. But that one in particular then goes to that IDX feed, which is just those foreclosures in Nightdale.
And Albie, where are you landing them when they click on your ads from Craigslist? You said you've got a phone number in there, so some of them are actually calling you. The ones who click, though, where do they go?
Well, it depends on it. On the short sale one, we'll drop them into a short sale landing page. And as for a property, we'll drop them into the IDX of that property. If they're clicking on the link of similar homes, I'll drop them into the IDX that's actually integrated into our website with our phone number on top. So pretty much is like if they don't really want to fill out the information, they'll go ahead and just give us a call. And that's the best bet is as long as they call us, we have their phone number, and then we can pretty much stalk them after that.
So you're a believer in not only putting the information in a link for them to follow, but making sure you give them a phone number so that they could possibly call you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
you don't have to have
I tell them to text me as well. It's surprising how many people actually text me.
Okay. Now, you don't have to have a fancy website to make all this work. It could just be a simple IDX results page or something along those lines. Would you both agree with that?
Sure, that would work.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, who wants to explain what IDX actually is? Because I got a few people saying, wait, what's an IDX feed?
I don't actually know what it stands for, but I know the concept of what it is.
So you want me to explain it then?
Sure.
IDX is Internet Data Exchange. It's basically when you have the right to market all of the listings within your website. So most companies, if you're with a large company, have a website that has some kind of IDX where you're able to feed to all of the houses that are within your MLS. So it's just basically our search that's integrated within our website that allows people to search all of the MLS with the exception of people who ask to be exempt.
Okay, so there you go. Albie, do you want to add anything to that? I think Sheri gave a pretty good description. Did you want to add anything to it, though?
I guess the only thing I'd want to add is the IDX I use is phenomenal. We work hand in hand with them. There's a lot of great items that we work together on certain things. Because, coming from technology, there's a lot of things we like. I'm a numbers guy, so I need to see the numbers. So with my IDX, I actually had them integrate Google Analytics. because we knew they were hitting once they left our website, we're inside our IDX. Our IDX was embedded into our website. We didn't actually know how many pages they were looking inside, how many different properties after they find. And here's the really good thing is we didn't know what properties they were looking at. We showed them houses that were 200,000, but we didn't know if they were looking into luxury over $1 million. So we integrated Google Analytics, and now we could tell, hey, these people are looking at properties in the 300s. So
Okay.
that helped us out a lot. We integrated that over a month ago.
So it's a quick question for both of you guys. Who are you using as your IDX solution? Albie, who is it?
Oh, the one and the only WolfNet. Oh, I love you guys. You guys are so great. And all the little random items that I asked that, I'm like, hey, I need this to help our, help our website, integrate it. And they're so phenomenal. It's ridiculous. I love those guys.
Okay, and Sheri?
Well, that sounded like he's the sales guy for dang WolfNet over there. No,
I guess
love
so.
me some WolfNet.
We'll have to get sponsorship from them. Sheri, who are you using as your IDX?
I'm actually, I'm using two very much, and I'm working in WolfNet because I do really like it, and, Albie speaks so highly of them. But right now I'm using Market Leader through the eEdge account, and then I have a custom one through Dacno Marketing, which is a really small company, but they have a really nice aesthetic to their IDX. So once I get people in my I like you, you like me, you're going to be my buyer, I move them over there and say, hey, look at the pretty stuff.
There you go.
It doesn't seem to capture as well as eEdge and WolfNet.
All right, so Albie's using WolfNet for those who missed it, and Sheri's using Market Leader, which is one that we talk about a bunch in the IMSD program as well. Let's move on a little bit. Now that we have some idea of some ads, Albie, nobody knows what your ad is about until they click on that one single line. You and I were talking about headlines being so key to getting people to want to open your ad, because if your ad just says 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 square foot home, $194,000, that's kind of boring and blends in with all the others. What do you talk about when you're talking about headlines on those Craigslist ads?
We use a multitude of different words, sometimes with the same ad if we know we have a really nice house that we need to push very quickly. So we'll come across with different headlines. Sometimes I have the numbers here right in front of me, but the line that works out the greatest is the line with a pool associated with the location, associated with the price. On that, we're looking at a 28.8% click-through rate, which is pretty high. And that's based on a minimum of 1,500 views. So we feel that's going to be our best bet, and we played with a lot of different things. But we also learned that the price that's for prices under 200,000, but prices over 200,000, we noticed that click-through rate drops in half to 13.2%, but with the same headlines.
Wow. So,
He's a really numbers guy, huh? I just fly by the seat of my pants. We posted.
And what kind of headlines do you use while flying by the seat of your pants?
Well, a lot of them, those big $105,000 under tax value. I'm looking at one right now, incredible deal on executive home, $128,000 below value. Hard to find, low maintenance, the foreclosure, short sale. Some of those words work really well to get them to look at the ad, but you've got to have something behind it as well.
My favorite headline that I've ever seen was one of our members of the Internet Marketing Specialist Designation Program, and I apologize that I don't even remember who submitted it to us. They submitted a headline to us that was, it was a foreclosed property they were advertising, and it said, "This home is so ugly, I wouldn't sell it to my ex-wife." Said he got triple the number of views and leads off that ad than any ad he had ever run. So when you guys are thinking about your headlines out there, just put it out there and think powerfully about those headlines. Now, Craigslist is 24 hours. It never closes. It didn't take Labor Day off. It doesn't take holidays, Sundays, any of that. It doesn't stop working at 2 in the morning. Heck, it's probably just as busy, if not busier, at 2 in the morning. what's the best time of day to be posting those Craigslist ads, guys?
Well, I always say the best time is when you'll actually do it. And, you know, for me in the evenings, like Saturday and Sunday evenings seem to be really good times when people are at home, not doing much, lunchtime, stuff like that. But what I have found when trying to work my time with showing these houses, working with these buyers, and the number of ads that I post, when, you know, I'm posting them right now. There's no strategy to it other than I'm sitting still for an hour. So, again, talk to Albie. He probably knows exactly by the minute what has the best click-through.
He will. It definitely is seeming that we've got kind of fly-by seat of our pants versus he has analyzed it down to a science since you challenged him to get on it. We know a little bit about the two of you now. But, Sheri, you're telling me right now, while we are on this webinar, talking to everybody, you're actually posting ads.
I literally have probably, if I look, I have posted at least 20 because the first page is full. So while
so
we've
it's
been
that
on this
easy
call,
to sit there and post ads, and over the last half hour, you've posted at least 20 ads, you're thinking.
24 of them I just counted.
Okay. Albie, best time of day to be posting?
I wrote this down before we started talking about numbers, but our best times are 8:15, 12:45, and then after 9 o'clock. We do a little bit of rentals only in the high rise because because they're on the strip and those are the greatest clients. So it's really funny is at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, that's when apparently some people get off work, and we see triple the amount of hits coming to our views. So, but those are just for our high-rise rentals on the strip.
Okay. What about some of those like short sale ads that you're posting? You're finding your best results at those other times you were mentioning?
Pretty much all throughout the day when it comes to the short sale ones. I think they get to a point where they're, hey, you know, I finally need to do something about this, so let me look. So it's sporadic throughout the day. There's really no rhyme and reason. And, we run a couple of different ads, make sure that, we're not in violation of any of the Craigslist terms. So we make sure we hit different points into it. So, our ads at any given time are remotely 3 hours fresh. So.
Perfect. Okay. So what about best days of the week? Are you guys finding any trends? Sheri, we're going to just start with Albie on this one because we know your answer is going to be, yeah, you're the computer. Albie, are you finding one day of the week really stands out, or one day of the week gets horrible results, you shouldn't even waste your time, or is it just, hit and miss, especially in your town because you don't really have weekends in Las Vegas?
Sunday. We do 3 times the amount of volume on Sunday than we do than any other day. But yesterday we had a slow Sunday this Sunday. But Monday, wow, is probably our biggest day ever. We've never had so many visits to our website from Craigslist. It was just phenomenal. We had a good amount of people that came to our website and registered as well. So.
Yeah, there was a lot of that yesterday. I got a lot of messages from some of our members saying that everybody else must be at the beach because they were generating a ton of business through the Craigslist stuff we teach in the program yesterday, getting so many. Now, Sheri, we'll ask you, just in case you have a specific answer, do you have a day of the week that you find is not worth the time or that you find really stands out, or is it, hit and miss with you?
No, I agree with Albie that it is Sundays is really the day, and yesterday was so crazy I didn't even know what to do. I just was like, all right, people, go driving around. But Sundays by far have been the best days. I mean, I run the same number of ads every day. I just don't run them at the same time. It's based on my schedule. But with the same number of ads, I'm probably at about 3 times as many on Sundays as well.
Wow. And everybody out there, keep bringing the questions. You've got some great questions. I'm keeping notes of them. We will be working them in. I want to move through some of the information these guys really wanted to make sure we got to share with you. I'm attempting to answer some of them. And Rick is saying here that the overnight views and Sundays have been huge for him. So, Rick, thank you for sharing that. Let's talk about hitting your results. Now, again, Sheri, let's start with you. Your results are probably, hey, you get leads, you're happy. you're not necessarily having a certain goal that you're looking to possibly hit. Albie probably has it down to, you know, a fraction of a percent, knowing how many people are registering and all that. How do you know, Sheri, if you're hitting your results?
Well, you know, that's a funny question, Chad. And you know, for me, and I'm so not a C, obviously, if you're even analyzing me. But you know, I know that I'm hitting my results when I went from not selling real estate at all 6 weeks ago to selling 6 houses in the last 48 hours, all from Craigslist. So I've exceeded my goals, whatever they'd have been, even if I tweaked down the numbers and all of that kind of stuff. And that's with me referring out at least 25 different buyers to other agents. I'm at the point where I'm 6 weeks into being back into sales, and I've hired 3 buyer's agents to be able to handle the leads that I have coming in, because all I'm handling are people who are calling me and saying, I want to buy this house you advertised on Craigslist.
Wow. Okay, and we'll talk about what to do with those. We'll talk about what to do, but you measure by the fact that you're busy. That's measured for you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so we need to talk later about some
Which
systems
I will
in place
get.
for you.
I'm getting into the yes.
All right, Albie, how do you know if you're hitting your results without getting into that, you know, 0.23% of something? How do you know that you're hitting your results and what you're shooting for on Craigslist?
Apparently, you guys know me too well, because we're looking at a 2.5% conversion rate overall. You know,
wait,
honestly,
hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. A 2.5% conversion rate. I just want to make sure everybody heard that. You're getting busy from Craigslist stuff, yet you're really only getting a 2.5% conversion rate. That sounds like a low number to a lot of people, yet internet leads being as different as they are, that's why you need to really attack Craigslist. This isn't a post one thing and run away from it, because the conversion rate is going to be low. Is that correct?
Correct. If you allow me to throw out the numbers.
Uh-oh.
So last week we took a look. We had 12,000 views, and our click-through rate was 12.5%. So we had 1,500 hits to our website, and out of those, you know, 10% registered. So we're looking at 143 that registered last week. And out of those, we send out, you know, a couple of, hey, thank yous for registering with us. We actually got 23 replies back. Other times, there's people that don't even, they put the wrong email address on because they just want to look at the properties. And from last week, we got 3 offers in. We had 1 accepted, and we took 2 listings from just doing Craigslist, and that was a 2.5% conversion rate on that. So what we need to do, you know, we could increase our amount of volume, or we could just increase our conversion rate. So, you know, it's a hidden gold mine. You know, people that are not using it are, you know, just missing on the boat on this.
Right. Wow, that's impressive. We can work on improving the rate and increasing the posts. How about both ends of that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Craigslist is really expensive. How do you track your how do you track your return on investment? I mean, it's only time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how much time, Sheri, since you're doing it now, I mean, we're 35 minutes plus into this call, you've probably posted another 5 or 6 ads at least. How much time do you actually commit to Craigslist ads?
I spend probably an hour to an hour and a half per day, which is actually kind of a lot, but that's because I'm still in my ad creation time. So I'm able to post those like 30 ads here in 30 minutes, but then I'm going to create some more for other listings and creating more things. So I invest probably 45 minutes into maintenance and 45 minutes into additional ad generation.
Wow. Okay, so you're putting an hour and a half a day, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay, hour and a half a day, 7 days a week. Albie, I'll refer to you on what the math with that would be, because there's 7 and then 3.5, I think, on that. So 10.5 hours Sheri's putting in a week. Albie, more or less for you, how many hours a week are you putting towards Craigslist?
Well, here's a really cool part about Craigslist. So what we were doing before we started working with Sheri on this, we didn't actually create accounts on Craigslist. So we were just ad hoc throwing them out there, and then, so we created these really cool scripts that we know that the majority of these houses that fall into this script were going to be like that. So that's just the bottom half. So we just had to change the top part. So we had it down to a science of 2.5 minutes for each post. But once we went to an account, we created a couple of different accounts for other reasons. And we're able to repost all day long through our iPhones, and it just takes maybe 10, 11 seconds maybe to repost something that you already did the legwork in. So on average, we probably spend maybe 30 minutes a day reposting probably 50 to 60 ads.
50 to 60 a day. And how much time do you say you put aside for that?
Probably 30 minutes throughout the day. But it's what we do is we do it in chunklets throughout the day. So if I'm on my phone, I'm like, oh, let's see what needs to be renewed. And we just hit the button on our iPhone. So it could be at anywhere you want. But I
so
do
you guys
chunklets.
So you're putting in a half hour a day now that you've created the ads to just repost and recopy and redo the ads is what it sounds like to me, Albie. You took some time at the front, built up a few ads, and now it's quick and easy for you to be able to just post them.
Absolutely. And we try to create a new ad like every day. It may be with our current inventory or something new that we'd ask somebody else if we could use to market. So, we like to give a wide array of things out there. So.
Now, are you guys advertising your own listings, or are you advertising other agents' listings?
Yeah, I rounded up the agents in my office, and because I just went back to sales, I only had 3 listings right off the bat, and that wasn't very much for me to advertise. So I actually went to a couple of the new home builders and who didn't have agents, who only had on-site, and asked for their permission. So I'm marketing a few neighborhoods and other agents' listings, and you name it.
And then, of course, you're posting 4 more listings, so you're attempting to get the eye of a seller who's out there on Craigslist as well.
Right.
Okay. And Albie, are you posting your own, or are you posting other people's listings, or are you just working those buyers or those short sale sellers in distress and just generic lists for buyers?
No, it's a combination. There's a lot of, I'm not an REO agent, so I don't have 100 of different properties out there, but and went to different REO agents in our office and other offices and asked if, it's a possibility to go ahead and market them. They're actually really happy to help you out, because who wouldn't want their listings out there more? So, so a combination.
Perfect. Now, Albie, I'm getting a bunch of people asking. First of all, I'm getting a bunch of people saying you guys know your numbers, Albie, so congratulations. Sheri, we'll work on that with you.
I know. I'm working one thing at a time.
Bob and Megan and a few other people have been asking, Albie, how are you reposting during the day without going back to the office to get to the computer? Is it an app? Are you just going online on your phone and then going to the Craigslist website? How are you doing that on the iPhone so quick and so easily?
So what we have on the iPhone, you can go ahead and just go to your internet browser, and you just go ahead and put Craigslist, was it Craigslist.com? I don't know. It's really funny. And then it'll ask you to log in, but if you stay logged in and you check it periodically throughout the day, you'll go ahead and click on your My Account, and then you'll see all the listings that are available. And on Craigslist, one of the terms is you can't post it I guess it's listed to every 2 days. Right on the dot to the exact minute, it'll become available. There'll be a little icon next to your post that says repost or delete. You can just hit the button and it'll repost. And that's pretty much it. You can do that anywhere you want. I think there is an app as well, but I don't use the app because it's a lot easier using that.
So since you know there's certain times of day, I believe 12:45 was one of the times, or 12:15 that you gave us as a great time for you. You know that if you were to check your phone at around 12:30, you probably have everything from 48 hours ago now ready for you to just take a minute and go click, 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 and repost them all.
Absolutely correct. And we want to go ahead and hit that a couple of minutes before. 12:30 was a little early to be jumping out on those, so we tried to time it out at 12:40, because when you repost an ad, that's going to put you at the very top of the list of all the million ads that are there, and that'll help you out.
Okay, so let's keep going then and jump on this. Now we get leads. Sheri, sounds like you're getting quite a few. Albie, sounds like you are getting a bunch of people. How do you track and funnel? What do you do with those leads? Now, I'm going to guess we're all sitting there saying, well, let's hear what Albie does because of his numbers, his systems, his models. But, Sheri, let's start with you first. And tell me you've got some sort of system, not just, oh, these names show up and I hope, or I just throw them at the wall and see which ones stick. You've got some system that you're tracking and funneling those leads through. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. When it comes to that part, I'm almost like the stalker of the back end of the website, and also I'm fortunate that eEdge has a campaign that will automatically email them when they set up, or Market Leader, as soon as they set up, and then it will send them suggested listings. But I do have my 10 days of pain. I have to work within the Market Leader system to make it work the way that I want, but I take the leads out and I put them in top producer. So I have my action plans and my 10 days of pain set up, and watch them and monitor when they log in again. If I see them log in, I'll send them a note and say, hey, what's up? Do you want to see houses? I see you save favorites, those kinds of things.
Okay, so you've got your 10 days of pain, and for those of you out there going, what the heck is she talking about? 10 days of pain is a program that Ben Kinney had developed for internet lead follow-up. We share it in the Internet Marketing Specialist Designation program on what to be doing during that 10 days of pain. It's painful for you and them, which is where it got its name. Now, Albie, what are you doing to track, because we know you know your numbers, and to funnel those leads once you start getting them?
If I'm not busy at the time, because through our WolfNet and through our I'm also on eEdge as well, it'll come in as a text message into my phone with the phone number and also with the name of the person. So if it's between 9 and 6:30 during the day, I'll go ahead and right as soon as I get it, I'll call and say, hey, thank you so much for registering. You know, what property were you actually looking at? So that's the first step. And if they don't answer, we'll go ahead and we'll drop them into our little touch pro campaign. And also, so when we kind of through a hybrid way of doing the 10 days of pain, we'll go ahead and email them through our eEdge system, which is a great CRM for us, and then also through our outlet through our other domain as well. So it's kind of like we're hitting them in two different spots. And those ones, they'll go out sporadically. We'll send them out as a bulk mail, but it doesn't look like a bulk mail. It looks like it's individually. So those are the ways we keep track after that. But some of the people that get dropped off at the very end, we look to see if they even registered back on, because we have the ability to see when's the last time they've logged on and done any other activity.
Perfect. So you guys are really doing a good job with tracking them. Sheri, you might not know your numbers on getting them, but boy, you sure know what you do with them once you get a hold of them.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. They don't get out of them. Once I have them and know they're going to buy something, I'll either take care of them or make sure another agent does.
Perfect. Now, Sheri, I've got a few people requesting some of your campaign on your 10 days of pain stuff. If they were to contact you after, would you be able to help some of them with that information?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if that was you asking about that kind of stuff out there, make sure you get a hold of Sheri. Now, there have been a bunch of questions as we go through this that I haven't brought up yet, because I knew we wanted to talk about some of the hurdles that you have to deal with Craigslist. So before I even post any of the questions that some people have been asking, Albie, what are some of those hurdles that you really need to watch for while you're running the course of Craigslist?
We like to push the envelope a little bit here in Las Vegas. I'm not sure if it's just culture or just the way the city works, so we like to push the envelope. So our biggest problem is with other realtors. They'll actually flag us. And I've told other people, if they're not flagging you, you're not really pushing the envelope there. So, and we'll run clean, beautiful ads, and then other realtors will just flag us, and our ads get pulled. So it's, you know, that's one of our biggest hurdle. Actually, I think it is our biggest hurdle out there.
How do you overcome it?
How
do you jump that hurdle?
Keep going.
We have multiple ads that are out there. So let's say property that's on the strip, we'll go ahead and have 2 or 3 ads out there already, all with different, different wording, just in headlines. So the way to get around it, we know which ad they pulled and flagged. We'll just go ahead and repost it after. We already have the script set up behind the scenes, so we're just going to copy and paste that in there. So, we're looking at 2 minutes to repost that ad, and we'll do that at the end of the day or during the middle of the day. It just depends on where, but we already have something already working during that time.
Albie, explain flagging.
Flagging is when somebody looks at your ad and they deem it not to be in the same category or deems to be spam or something, they'll go ahead. It's a random person out there will just click a button that says, "Hey, flag this," and then Craigslist will pull that off pull it off the ads. So it helps out with some of the other spam that's out there, like people trying to push random products that they shouldn't be pushing out there.
So it just happens. It's just something to expect to happen at some point.
Absolutely, and if you're not getting flagged, you're not pushing hard enough.
Okay, so there's a good thing. It would almost be a football reference there, right? There's holding on every play. It's just a matter of did the ref throw the flag. So if you're not out there pushing it and getting flagged now and then, you need to push harder.
Absolutely.
Okay, Sheri, now what's the biggest hurdle that you have to jump over, get around, go through, go under, or just plow right through and knock it down when it comes to Craigslist?
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's it, just run through the hurdle and keep going. But I would say, from somebody who's starting, again, and a lot of people on the call I would assume are probably starting up Craigslist and not running it like Albie and I, is the hurdle of the time and being able to set up your 10 days of pain and your action plan and have your IDX in line. And so those were my hurdles up to this point that I kept just going over. Okay, I've got my IDX in line. Okay, I've got my 10 days of pain. Okay, I've got this. And that's where, okay, I'll start tracking the numbers. I can see them, fortunately, on eEdge if I want and need them. But each hurdle I go over, I'm dealing with as they come.
Okay. So we've got a bunch of questions I want to get into, but before we get there, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to learn more about Craigslist and other stuff that we've been talking about on these webinars, you want to learn about the Internet Marketing Specialist Designation, IMSD.net, use the promotional code ARU so we can get some more information for you. All right, let's go to questions here. One of the hurdles that other people are encountering that we're waiting to see what you know about is ghosting as well. There's a lot of people out there that are complaining about getting ghosted or something like that. Albie, are you running into that problem?
We were because, at the very beginning when we were just dabbling inside of Craigslist before we became a believer, we didn't have accounts, so we just threw random crap out there. No, I'm sorry to use the word crap, but we just threw random stuff out there. And we had no idea if we were getting ghosted or not. We were just dependent on how many registrations we were getting. So once we switched to an account, where that ghosting went away. So, and also another way to really measure ghosting is we run what's called a Craigslist tracker, and that's a link that runs behind our ads, and we can see when people view it. So we noticed we put a really beautiful ad out there, and no one views it. We're like, well, we think we just got ghosted, but I haven't got ghosted since I created an account. In order to do multiple listings, you could actually create another account. It's recommended, but you didn't hear it from me.
So Albie, one of the questions, Rick's got some really great questions. He's been throwing some hard balls here. Make sure we answer this for you. Are you using a rolling IP address or some other technique to keep Craigslist from blocking you?
Here's the really funny part. I come from technology, so we thought at first that was the issue, but the real issue, it's all about the cookies. So the cookies are, like on Internet Explorer, you can go ahead and delete your cookies after one account, and it doesn't know who you are. Because an IP address could be subnet, it could be masked. So when we're talking about the masking, so everyone that's at, let's say you're at UNLV, the university here, everyone's going to have the same IP address because nobody cares about the internal IP address. It's all about what IP address leaves the university, and that IP address is unique to that university. So Craigslist cannot say, hey, everyone at UNLV could only have one person posting to Craigslist. So it's not the rolling IP address. It's the cookies that are inside your browser.
Got it.
Did I lose everyone getting techie on that? I think I did.
You're probably getting a little techie for some people because I've got a few popping up now that are just even saying, what's being ghosted? So, Sheri, have you been ghosted?
I don't have that problem. I actually go back and look through most of my ads just because, not to see that every single one of them are there, but I'm looking where they stand in relation to other agents and what other agents are posting. And I had not noticed any, but I've run on a Craigslist account for years and have never had an ad ghosted that I know of. I've had them flagged now.
So what is ghosting? For those people out there, Sheri, that don't even know what it is, can you explain ghosting to them?
Well, ghosting would be when you place an ad and you get the confirmation from Craigslist and you link back and say, yes, I wanted to post that ad, and then it just never appears on Craigslist. And,
so it just became a ghost and vanished.
Yeah, and I think one thing to keep in mind that some agents don't think about is that Craigslist refreshes, in our market anyway, every 15 minutes. So you may see a confirmation from Craigslist, but it may not be on their wall. But if you go back 30 minutes later, it's most likely there.
Perfect. So, Albie, let's get techie. Do they delete the cookies every time they're finished posting, after every posting, once a day? How often should they delete their cookies to help with what you've got going?
The way I think it's based on accounts. If you create an account, so let's say my account is albie@gmail.com. So that account is tied to all the listings inside of there, and then once I do all the items that I use inside of there, I'll go ahead and delete the cookies out of there. In Internet Explorer, it's really easy. You can go ahead and tweet me or Facebook me, and I'll tell you how to do it. You could just search on the Internet as well. But another way of doing it is using multiple browsers, where we'll use Firefox and Internet Explorer, and we could run them. So we can run an ad, the same exact verbiage on two different browsers on two different accounts. So I don't know if you want to do that, but it's one of the possibilities of doing it.
It's okay. We black hat stuff around here if it works, so it's okay to share some of that stuff. Craig himself's not on the call at this time. Are either of you using posting agents, or are you posting it all yourself, or your hired staff posting it, or have you gone virtual?
I would say that that's something that I will hire out very, very soon virtually. I'm a big believer in knowing what it is that I'm doing and asking somebody else to do and creating the ads that I like, that I think will work. And then when it gets more into the renewing and not as much creative ad generation, I will send that stuff out. I don't want to spend that hour and a half a day. I'll send it out there showing and selling houses.
Perfect. And Albie, what about you? It sounds to me like you're just doing it from your iPhone while you're waiting online at Starbucks, but do you
Right. Yeah, there was a great agent, his name is Jonathan Osmond, that said, he hired a virtual assistant to do that. This is before we really dove deep into Craigslist. We didn't know what exactly it was all about. Before we created the accounts, because I keep on emphasizing the accounts. Once we created the accounts, we didn't really feel the need to do that. So we're going to keep it in-house. We actually we change our ads based on what is working as opposed to what's not working. So we like to alter them every once in a while because we know what's working.
All right. So here's a question that's come up by a few people. You guys talk about getting the ads posted and maybe with the flagging, if it's in the wrong category, that it gets flagged. What category are you actually advertising in? Now, Sheri, you were talking about events earlier, but when you're actually talking about that foreclosure list you were talking about, or Albie with your short sales, what category are you guys posting in?
Homes for sale.
Okay, that's pretty obvious. Albie, same thing, just posting everything in the homes for sale category?
No, actually, for the short sales, we go ahead and advertise under services needed, and then real estate services. In Las Vegas, we have that ability. I'm not sure in other states if they have that. But then the other one's just listing by broker is another one that we use just for our presentation.
So you guys are just going straight up with the obvious categories. You're not pulling anything crazy or anything like that out there. So
not when I get flagged. The other agents don't care about those other sections. They don't even go there.
Okay, good point. Now, how many ads should they post in a day? What should be a target for these people on the call right now if they want to succeed at Craigslist the way you guys are? How many ads do you think they need to post in a day or work up to?
Well, I think a lot of that is going to have to do with their market, because Albie and I are both in relatively larger areas where there's a lot of people looking and a lot of people placing ads. I've talked to agents where there's only 40 ads for the whole town every single day, and if you're posting 100 ads, that's going to be a little bit overwhelming, and is there really that much usage? But, when I started with this little challenge Albie and I are doing, I was saying if you posted 3 a day, at the end of the month, you're going to have 90 ads. Okay. So, you post 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. You've worked your way up to 90 ads, and now you've got something to choose from.
You can go from that. Now, Albie, you mentioned Craigslist Tracker a
Correct.
few times. Can you, in 45 seconds or less, tell us about Craigslist Tracker? What is
Craigslist Tracker does 2 for us. One, it actually tells us who viewed our ad. So when somebody goes to Craigslist, they click on the link from our ad, and it shows on our system here that, hey, this person has clicked on this ad. And the really cool thing is, it'll tell us where they're actually located: Las Vegas, Hawaii, Canada, or Japan. It'll tell us that. And another cool thing that we actually like is the CTR. And the CTR is a click-through rate. So if we post an ad, 1,000 people view it, but only 1 person clicked on it, it means we wrote a really cool headline, but we didn't do anything internally. So that's where we have to adjust our ad. And having the Craigslist Tracker, it'll help us out with that.
How do they add, Albie, how do they add the Craigslist Tracker to their Craigslist ads?
It is pretty simple. You go ahead and put the headline that you want to be the hyperlink, like say 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 200,000. So that'll be a clickable link inside of there. So you drop that in there, and it'll generate the code for you, and you just copy and paste that into your Craigslist ad.
Okay, so it's another website they go to, or is it part of Craigslist?
It's another website.
So CraigslistTracker.com.
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys want to check that out. Now, any questions that you guys still have as we're coming to an end here, you can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/IMSDesignation. Albie and Sheri will check throughout the day for us on our Facebook page and answer any questions that we weren't able to get to. Albie, I have one challenge out here from people that a few of them have asked. Craigslist is not a high price thing. Most people think they go to Craigslist to get a deal, to get a sale, to get a special. Are you actually having success with those luxury listings on Craigslist?
It was a really cool part is I actually have I have a real estate coach, and the really cool thing is because we here in Las Vegas we have an undervalued market, so the luxury market they're really cheap at the current time. So in order to capture those, I have actually been working with my coach. We have a really cool way of doing it, and we'll hopefully address it in the next couple of weeks once we see the success out of it, because we just started doing that last week. And another agent already has success out of it, and it's a really cool way of doing it. So hopefully we can share that with you guys later on.
Perfect. Now, Sheri, 30 seconds or less, give us a final thought on Craigslist. Why they should, what they should, how they should. 30 seconds.
30 seconds, they just should. They have to just start posting a couple of ads. Why they should? Because I would say I'm the testimony of you're selling houses, you're getting leads right away, and it's free. What more can you want?
Albie, 30 seconds. Why, what, where, etc. Give it to us.
Well, I think you should invest some time and effort into Craigslist because, A, it's actually free. The only thing you're really going into is time. The really cool thing is it shouldn't be your only marketing strategy. It could be an add-on to like what we were doing. We already had a really good marketing strategy, and just to add that on, it's just phenomenal. You're missing out on your market. Our market is quite saturated, but we're still pulling some numbers out. If you take a look at South Florida, not like we didn't do any research, but by 9 o'clock, they only had 3 posts, and here in Vegas, we had 500. So, you could be the dominant force in your area. Just take a look.
Wow. All right. There we go. There's so much more to it. Remember, if you have any questions, join us at facebook.com/IMSDesignation. Albie and Sheri will be checking with me through the day, answering questions for you that you post there. I really want to thank you, Albie, for joining us. Congratulations on jumping into Craigslist, adding it, and making a success out of it. Sheri, same thing. I'd like to congratulate you for jumping back into it and taking the bull by the horns. We'll work on those tracking numbers with you so that you can be as specific as Albie in the near future on those numbers. Thank you both for joining us, and thank everybody that came along. Hope you have a fantastic day, and thank you to ActiveRain University for the opportunity that we had to share with you today. Make it a great week.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.